And I ask this with all due respect to all the names I'm about to mention, because they're great quarterbacks. But Jared Goff just got paid $50 million. Trevor Lawrence is rumored to get paid $50 million. Another quarterback in that conversation is Tua, and I assume he's also going to get paid $50 million. How do you feel about those contracts? And then, how are we ever going to get to a time where, those guys aren't in the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL? Is there going to be a time where the next quarterback contract isn't always going to be the biggest quarterback contract of all time?
No, because I think, look, if you're Tua, Justin Herbert got paid $52.5 million. So I'm sure Lee Steinberg's saying, well, my guy's been to the playoff.
Yeah.
Herbert's lost a playoff game. My guy's been there. He's won. He's got these numbers. He should make this. Look, one of the beautiful things about a salary cap and about players at positions making money is water seeks its level. Everybody rises to the next one. And they know teams don't have the guts to be able to say, look, I'm not going to do this. We're going to draft a young guy, and then we're going to transition over to somebody else. I don't think that they're going to call that bluff because it's supply and demand. There's just not a lot of them. I think the question you're asking, are they worth it? And the answer is no, but the market says they're worth it.
Yeah.
The market dictates what you have to pay. Would I pay Tua $53 million? No, because Tyreek Hill takes up 12% of the cap. Waddle takes up 8% of the cap now. That's 20% of the cap. If I go and pay Tua, 30% of the cap, what do I have left for the rest of my team? But I'm down this road. I've already gone down the road. 80% of my offense comes to these 2 receivers, and they're explosive and they're great, and he can make it good. So, I think you're trapped a little bit here, but you can't get caught up in the number. You got to get caught up in this is the system that we're in, and you got to be proactive and draft a quarterback every year and develop a quarterback every year, because if you can get one at a cheaper number, that's going to help you out. It's a little bit like what happened in Minnesota. They traded Cousins. Now they got McCarthy. Now the question is, do they pay Justin Jefferson, right? Now, all right, that's the fair question. But if they could have gotten Neighbors for Jefferson, they probably would have traded him. But to trade them for draft picks that you don't know what you're getting back, how do you trade them? Yeah. Right? Everybody says, well, trade a player for 2 number 1s. Well, I don't know what I'm getting with those 2 1s. Whereas if I traded him for Neighbors, who was a legitimate, could be a cheap number 1 receiver for 4 years, okay, now I could do that. So that becomes another issue.
Okay, so Justin Jefferson, everybody's assuming he is going to get paid because of the decision to move on from Kirk Cousins, bring in Sam, and then also draft a young player. Don't have to spend as much money at the trigger position. We can pay a wide receiver. That's seemingly how the market is shaping out. We go back to Miami. Is Tua have 1 year? How much is this his last year of his contract?
1 more year. He's got $23 million on the cap at 1 year. That takes up 12% of the cap right now. When they do that deal, right now Waddle takes up 7.8% of the cap. Tyreek takes up 12%. Now, Tyreek, he's still the second highest paid receiver in the league. A.J. Brown slightly went above him. So, but I mean, they got to keep Hill really healthy. He's the engine that drives the machine. But, now the reason you don't sign Christian Wilkins is because you're giving the money to these other guys. You're going to have to figure it out. It's Chris Greer's got to draft really well.
Wilkins to the Raiders, nobody even talks about.
No.
That's a whole different.
No.
Him and Crosby next to each other.
But
plays every snap of every game.
So does Max.
There you go. Gump, there you go. He plays every snap. He can pressure the pocket. He can push inside. He's going to make Crosby more effective if that's even possible.
Jeez.
And they just let him walk like it was no big deal because it's a 7-on-7 game for them. Now, they haven't beaten a good team. We know this, right? They have not beaten a good team. Gump can verify that. They go into Philly last year, and Philly played defense against them, and we know Philly wasn't good on defense. So it'll be interesting how this all works out.
So Tua will be a free agent after this year. Dak could be a free agent after this year. They know they both get paid somewhere. Kirk Cousins just got $130 million guaranteed or whatever. That market continues to go. If you're a team, though, that has a guy, boy, feels like you need to keep the guy because you have no idea what door 2 potentially has on the other side.